Now I seem to have an echo. Let me take care of this. I know what it is. Okay, there it is. I got everything rigged up here so intensely. Sometimes I forget to push a button. Other times I forget that it's set up that way. The third time is a charm. Third show of the day. Maybe we can squeeze in 4 or 5. Told you this time was coming, but I feel good. And we're going to have a different type of presentation tonight. We're going to speak to a very beautiful Ghanaian sister who is very, very enterprising and very, very ambitious. And I respect her a lot because of that. We've been talking for a while, and she has a lot to say about living in Ghana. Nothing bad, but she did have a traumatic situation, and I'll let her tell it, about what happened when she was robbed. And it was very traumatic for her. It brought on situations with her health. There's nothing wrong with her, but you know how sometimes you can have a panic and a rush because you remember what happened to you. Now, she's not in yet. I'm waiting for her to come in, and I'm communicating with her on the phone as we speak, and she'll be here in several minutes. And I want her to share what she knows about the streets, which is not much because she's not a street person, but she is a business person and she does deal with people in the public. So that being said, we know that crime is everywhere. And there's so much more to her than just the experience, but we decided to bring her to the platform and speak on this at first because she's also a storehouse of information for those. Yes, come on in. Come on in. Let me just type this in. Come on in. Everything's working smooth today. And again, I must say that if there's any power outages or blinkages, as I call them, I will be back on momentarily. I'm going to have to explain that to her when she comes on in. Just let me just tell her to click the link. She's here. She's going to be here. All right. I sent her the link a while ago when I made it, and she said she's joining now. So I'm right here waiting to see. I guess she's setting up the audio, the video. If she wants to show her face, it's okay. I'll allow it. If she doesn't, which I'm kind of thinking that we're going to do it this way, without, but eventually she will, and you will see her. And we have a chance to talk with someone who will show you how similar things are, meaning that, you know, we all have a glowing outlook on the motherland. We know what we go through in America, but that doesn't mean that it's a utopia that is void of certain situations that are not favorable as far as crime. And just like anywhere else that I've learned, you know, there are places you go and places you don't go, and there are places that you feel you can go and you find out that it was the wrong place at the wrong time, and you kind of scratch it off in your head to say, hey, I'm not going there, right? So that being said, this is a universal thing. Okay, here she is. I'm going to let her in. Let her in. You are in.
Yes, I'm.
May I show your face? Would you like to be discreet tonight?
Please, no, not now.
Not tonight, but I can see you myself, but nobody else can see you.
Okay, that's okay.
Okay, you have the brightest smile, but yeah, I'm glad you're here, dear sister. I was kind of setting up the situation so they understand that while we're going to speak about this traumatic experience for you, that you are much more than just a traumatic experience. You're enterprising, you're smart, you're a businesswoman, you're going for a higher level. And I have to say it publicly, I respect that very much. And you have a lot to say and share. And there are going to be more shows that we speak on different things, but this is going to be the first one. And we decided to make this the first one. And as you can see, I made the banner that said, be careful at night in these streets. And why do I say that? Because you had a situation, but let's take our time and segue into that. I want you to introduce yourself to everyone because this is your first time, and then we'll ease on into it as you feel. Talk to us.
Okay, so I am Martha, and you can call me Zakia. I have two names. And I'm from Ghana, precisely the northern part.
Okay. Okay.
Are you saying nobody can see me, right?
Nobody can see you. No one can see you. Guaranteed. Nobody can see you.
Okay.
Now, on the switchboard, I can see you, but nobody else can see you. So relax and, we got you.
Okay, sure. So what do I say?
No, just keep on going. We're having a conversation. We're going to have a conversation like the conversations we usually have, but we just kind of know that there are people that are listening. This is a show. And, I want you to set the tone. We're going to start out with that and we'll segue into other things, but you were moving about the city in a routine way. I mean, you were doing what you do. Tell us, put us there, make us see what you went through. Take your time and explain it, because you were robbed in the street and it wasn't a pleasant situation. Not that ever being robbed is, but
yeah,
it's something you want to warn your sisters about out here. And even if they're in Ghana or they're not, they might be anywhere in the world. I know of a lot of crime. I've seen a lot of things in my life. I've seen people get killed. You know what I mean? So I got a lot of trauma I'm working on. So take us through it as though you're explaining to the police what happened so we know.
Okay. So on the 30th of September, is it 2 months ago?
Yeah, it just happened.
Yes. Yeah, it was Saturday. It was a Saturday. So there was this program organized by one of our Facebook what do I say? Personalities. Yes. He's a content creator. He's a person that organizes free skill training for like the vulnerable and all that. So on the 30th of September, that was when the program was coming on. So I decided to be part of it. And it happened that Botiano is in Ghana, Accra. I don't know. Those who have been here might have heard of the West Hills Mall. So after the West Hills Mall, it's around that area. And yeah, so the location was Ultimate Hotel. That was where the program was held. So I went there around 12 p.m. and the program ended around 4 p.m. and I left. I took a churchill, that's a passenger car. I took a churchill from Botiano to Circle. But upon reaching Circle, I got to realize there was no car heading towards my destination. So I had to do what I can to get a car home. So waiting for a car at the bus stop, there was this taxi that arrived. And then someone alighted from the taxi and another person got inside. So to my thoughts, what I was thinking was maybe it's a loading car. So far as it stopped and somebody came out and another person entered, that day I was not having any bad thoughts in mind that something bad could happen to me, because I was all over myself. I was happy just because of the training, because I was part of the people that they were given, like I was part of the people that they gave us certificates. If you do well, they will give you a certificate that you can use for a job or something. So I went there purposely for online marketing, and I was able to achieve a certificate for that. So when the guy came out of the car, it was a taxi, and another person entered. So I asked the driver, are they heading towards Laboni? Because I live around Laboni.
Right.
So the driver said yes. And I was like, okay, this is the place I will alight. How much is he going to charge me? He told me the amount I'll be charged. So I was about to enter the back seat, but the first passenger was already at the front seat. So before I could enter, there was this guy who also said he's heading towards Labadi. I am at Laboni, but he said he's going to Labadi.
Near the beach.
Yes, near the beach. So I was like, okay, I'll get down before you. So why don't you go inside first? Then I will be at the exit gate. And he said, okay. So he jumped in. Then they drove off. But then I was on the headset. I don't know, that particular day, I was very happy. I was very, very, I don't know, like, I can't explain it, but I was just very happy for nothing. So the car drove off. And when we got to the Nima traffic light, if you know Accra, you will know Nima traffic light. There was traffic. The car stopped just in front of the traffic light. It was red. So the moment the traffic was on, then he drove off. And just few seconds from the traffic light, there's a swerve, like just a curve, like a right turn. It's an highway, but then there's a right turn just after the traffic light. And that right turn heads to Asalam Down, where the NIA office is. So before I realized, the driver swerved to that road. And I was like, oh, driver. So before I could even say, driver, you are on the wrong direction because this is not where I'm going. The guy sitting beside me at the back seat grabbed my neck with his two hands.
What?
Yes.
Inside the
I don't know. Inside the vehicle, it was a taxi. So before I could even mention the driver's name, like, driver, you are on the wrong direction, then the guy grabbed. And I wasn't on him because I was not having any bad intention. I was not suspecting anything bad or something like that. He grabbed my neck very tight that I couldn't even turn around or even breathe or even talk anymore. So he held me down to his laps and he said, if you struggle with me, we are going to hurt you. So the guy at the front, that was my first time seeing a gun. Yes, I've seen guns on the screen. I've seen guns on movies and all that, but I've never seen a gun, like someone holding a gun very close to me. That was my first time.
Right.
So the guy at the front seat removed the gun and he pointed it at me and he said, if you scream, we are going to kill you and nobody will know about it.
Wait, let me ask you a question, sister. So you were in the back seat, right?
Yes.
And the guy next to you put his hands around your neck and brought you down to his. Now the guy in the front seat was with him, right? Evidently.
Yes, I guess so. They were together.
They were together. Now the driver, what did he do in reaction to seeing what was going on? Because by now he must know something's going on in his vehicle, unless he had something to do with it.
He was part of them because he went that route. So they were all working together. Okay. Working together. So when they took the swerve, like when they took the right turn, they drove for some minutes. And then the guy who was holding my neck started asking me questions. Where are you coming from? Where did you go? And I told him I went for a school program. I went for a training. And the bag I was having that day was very small to contain the certificate because it was a bit bigger than the bag. So I was like, this is my set from the program that I'm just coming from.
Right.
He said, okay. Then at that moment, he took my phone. He asked for my password. But then I was using fingerprints. So I opened the phone for him. He asked for my mobile money PIN.
Oh, man.
Yes. So I gave him my mobile money PIN, but luckily for me, I don't save money on my Momo because I know of these scammers all the way back. Yes. So
those who don't understand what Momo is and mobile money is, if you can have a bank account, right? But in Ghana, there's so many people who may not have a bank account. So having mobile money installed on your phone, right? Or you can use codes with your phone number. It's a way of exchanging money and paying other people, and it goes through your phone number. So if you do work for me or I do work for you, I just like you and want to send you money, I'll say, listen, what is your Momo? What is your number? I want to send you 200 CDs. I want to send you 1,000 CDs. And you give me your number and I could just punch it in, right? Put your number in at the proper place. And then I have to have a PIN. See, it can't work unless you use your PIN. So he's asking for her PIN code. It's the same thing as going to an ATM and asking for your PIN code, except on the ATM, there's a camera on you, and if you're showing your face, they're going to get you. With Momo, it's not like that. It's all through the phone. So they can take your phone number and send your money to somewhere else, and it's robbing you like that. But go ahead, sis. I just want to, because a lot of people here international, so I want to explain that to them. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. So when I gave him my mobile money code, actually I had two SIMs on the phone. So he took both mobile money pins, then he checked on both, and I was not having any money on any of them. So he went through my mails. He asked for my mail password. That's my Gmail. I gave him, he went through it. He went through my Facebook, he went through my Instagram, he went through everything. Then he went to my WhatsApp. Before he went to the WhatsApp, he asked me, do I have a boyfriend? And I told him I don't have a boyfriend. The reason, I guess the reason he asked if I have a boyfriend is they will have to call my boyfriend or maybe chat him or maybe message him to tell him that, oh, I'm in a situation, I need some kind of assistance, like, you know, they'll create something.
Right. They already knew what they were going to do.
Yes. So I told them I don't have a boyfriend, and they were like, a lady like you don't have a boyfriend, why don't you? And they started talking. So they were just driving around not far from where they took the right turn.
Right.
I'm very sure, because to get to a point, I'll see, and the back glass was rolled up, only the front was down. And there's something I don't get here. We went through traffics whilst I was on his laps, and I am always trying to figure this out. A taxi, the back glass is not supposed to be rolled up. That's what I assume, because it's not a private car, it's a passenger car. And there is no air condition inside. No taxi in Ghana uses air condition. So why will the glass be rolled up? And people seeing this, at least you should be suspicious that there's something wrong. But like nobody knew what happened. So I was in the car. It got to a point, they took my bag, they searched, and I was having just 250 Ghana cedis. So they took the money. And then the one at the front started telling me something very, I don't know how to put it, but it was very scary. He said, I don't know if it's a ritualist, it's a malam or whatsoever they call it. That he requested for a certain lady for rituals. But they weren't able to get that particular lady. So they have to use me. They have to replace me to that lady. But then when they get to him, they will bring me down. After they get to realize that I'm not the person they are looking for, they will let me go. So that was when I started to panic. I was breathing very hard. I was panicking because I know what ritualists do to people in Ghana. They kill them. They remove parts of their bodies. They do unnecessary stuff to them, and they dump their body somewhere else that some people, they never find them.
Wow.
Yes. So I told him, okay, and they started speaking the Muslim language. That's Hausa. I guess their kind of tonation, their accent, it wasn't within Ghana. It should be somewhere in Niger, like these Guinea-Bissau. They should be from these places, but the accents, it doesn't show they are from Ghana. So I was like, okay, I told the guy holding my neck, I told him, please, can you let me breathe small because I hardly breathe. He was just holding my neck very tight and I was struggling with him. You can see I'm a very strong lady. And if it were to be only one guy, God forbid, I could have been able to struggle with him and maybe fight him.
Exactly.
Yes, but there were three guys, so I can't do anything. So I told him, and I was on my period. There was a use pad inside my back. So I told him, bro, I've been a Muslim before.
Right.
If you are bleeding, you can't be used for anything unless the person just want to destroy you.
Right.
So you should kindly let me go, or you just go and waste my life for nothing because you can't use me for anything. So he opened my bag, then he saw the pad. Then he said something to the guy sitting at the front. So what they now plan, I guess they plan, okay, let's just go around and make her feel nauseous, then we drop her somewhere that she will not be able to find her way or something like that. So the thing started around 4:30 and they were driving around town with me on his laps. It got to a point that they have to remove my dress. You alone can see what I'm wearing. A short vest inside with just a dress on it. So they had to remove my dress, tore it into two, tied up my face, my eyes, my nose, my mouth. Yes. So I couldn't scream nor see, nor even breathe.
Right. They took your dress off and oh man.
Tore it. Yes, tied up my face, my everything. So I couldn't even figure out what to do at that moment because I was totally like, I don't know how to put it. So they went round and round and round. It got to a point, the guy at the front, they have to drop him somewhere. I heard him saying they should do fast, else they will be caught. So they have to drop the guy at the front somewhere. And around 5:40, 5:50, thereabouts, they drove to a certain gate. I don't know where that place was. They drove to a certain gate. It's a very big house with a big gate. So they parked like they are coming to drop off someone. Then they pushed me out of the car, still with my face being tied up.
Oh God.
They pushed me out of the car. They threw out my bag for me with my shoes, but they took my certificate that I had that day. They took the money, they took my phone, and they left. So when they pushed me out and I fell out of the car, I tore the dress. I wasn't able to untie myself, so I just tear it into pieces.
Yeah.
And at that moment, I fainted. I collapsed.
Right.
So before I could open my eyes, I saw people around me, a lot of people. So they were asking what happened, and I couldn't talk for more than 30 minutes. I was just sharing tears. I couldn't even open my mouth to say a word. So a yogurt seller then said he was passing by. He saw that the taxi branched to that particular gate, but to him, he think that they were dropping somebody off. But the moment they entered the gate, and then the kind of speed they took out of the gate, it was like surprising, like why would they do that? So he rushed. So before he got there, I was lying down there. That's what he said. So he had to use some of his, his yogurt eyes and stuffs on my head and all that before I was able to open my eyes. So this is where this thing ended. Now the police side. So at that moment, they took my phone, they took everything. So the only thing I had to do was to call MTN, because on your mobile money, there is this. I won't say it because many of the fraudsters don't know about it and many of the scammers don't know about it. So I wouldn't want to put it out there. I was having Momo, that's mobile money on my Momo, but it's only the smart people that will know about it. So I had to call MTN with someone's phone to block my mobile money account at that particular. Yes. Then there was this good Samaritan, a messenger from God. I don't know what to say. He was having a motor at that moment. So he said, okay, I can offer you a ride to your house. And where they dropped me wasn't far from the NIA office in Accra. That's the Asylum down. Not far from the Rich Hospital, let's say so, Rich Hospital. So he took me with the bike and I was like, why should I go home? Let me get to the police office and then make a report. Right. So he said, okay, he took me to Cantonment police station. Yes, upon reaching the scene, sorry to put this, I'm not trying to say bad stuff about police or something. I wouldn't want to do that. But serious, some police officers, they are not well trained, or they were so hard to be trained, or this is not their job. They are just into it maybe because of the benefits they are having or they are getting from it. Yes. But they weren't called for this kind of job. Upon reaching the police station, I had to manage to wear the torn dress because I was wearing just an inner vest that is not possible for me to wear in the public. I'm not used to that. Right. So I have to put that torn dress on me like a mad woman. So the Okada driver took me to the police station. He gave me 50 Ghana that from there I could take a car to the house. Right. I got inside the police station with tears all over my eyes, wearing a torn dress, looking miserable. A lady sitting at the counter back was about to eat just in front of the entrance where you enter, where you have to go and write your report and all that. That was where she was sitting with a pack of food at hand. She saw me entered and she was like, hey, mommy, Aden, which means, madam, why? Like, what happened or what's the problem? Right. Upon saying that, I was expecting her to get up, get close to me or get close to the counter and listen to what I have to say. But she was sitting there and asking me, what happened? So I have to raise my voice to like I'm shouting to her, oh, this is what I went through. So I couldn't even open my mouth well to talk because you have to be close to me to be able to hear because I was still crying. I was still mourning inside. Right. So she was sitting there asking me questions, what happened? And I was like, please, can you get close to me to hear what I want to say? Then she called someone inside. Please, can you come? There is someone who wants to make a report because I'm about to eat. And I was already pissed off. So the man came. She was like, what happened? And I told her my story. They gave me a piece of paper and a pen to write. And whilst I was writing, they told me that where the thing happened, I will have to go to Nima police station because it happened within their community. So I have to go to that police station to make the report. So whilst I was writing, he left. And then the lady who was supposed to attend to me turned her back to me. She was eating, so she turned her back to me. And nobody was there talking to me whilst I was doing the report. So I just left the paper and the pen and I went out. So the man came out, he didn't see me, then he followed me out. He was like, why did I leave? I said, why won't I leave? You saw me like this. You showed nothing like compassion or something.
Right.
You didn't show any kind of I don't know how to put it, but then you saw a lady like this. At least you should be concerned.
Yes.
Know what happened, but it's like I don't care. You don't care, and you don't care about anything. You don't even know me. So he was like, "Can I come?" I said, "No, you can't help me. Already, you are telling me you have to transfer me back. So let me just get back there and do whatever I have to do." So I left. I got a car. I went to the house. I have pictures here that I took with this phone. It was the same day that I had to buy this phone on credit from someone because I was not having money on me and I had to make some kind of calls.
Right.
So I took pictures on the same day with this phone that if you see, you could see my eyes were swollen, my face was very horrible. So I came home that particular evening and I was not even having a dime on me. So what I had to do was to send my blender that I bought.
Oh,
I've not used before. I sent it to the phone vendor. I gave it to him and then he gave me a brand new phone. The phone was 100 cedis, but my blender was almost 400 cedis. So I had to give him the blender to take the phone. Then on Monday, because it happened on Saturday and it wasn't possible for me to go to MTN to retrieve back my SIM card to be able to withdraw any money or do any transactions.
Right.
So I had to do that barter trade to get the phone, and then on Monday, I'll go and then withdraw money to go and pay him, then to get back my blender. So on the Sunday, in the morning, I went to the Nima police station early in the morning. When I got there, seriously, they were very nice. Oh my God, network. So when I got to the Nima police station, the ladies there, they were very caring, very like seriously, I love what how they were interacting with me. Can you hear me, please?
Oh yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
Yes.
So I got there. They asked me what happened. I told them. They gave me a paper to write my report, and then I wrote. They took me to the investigating office. I don't know how they call that one. And then I got to meet their commander. So the only thing I told him was, if it's possible for them to play their CCTV camera, that is the traffic CCTV, that's the traffic light, because that's where the car stopped just in front of the traffic light, and it was the first car. And even till now, I can still figure out the kind of people that were standing in front of the traffic, because just after the traffic, there is a bus stop on the right. So normally people stand there to wait for buses. So I can still figure out the kind of people that were standing there. So this is what I told the commander. If they can play the CCTV camera for me to be able to identify the car, because I didn't take the car number, even the color, but then I could see it was an old car. It's very old, and this is like Corolla or Hyundai, yeah, something like that. So what the man told me was the CCTV is not working.
Oh my God.
Yes. He said it's not okay. The statement he made in code, I'm not sure it's working. But the only thing they can do to help me is for me to take them to where the culprits dropped me off. So they will have to check if there is a CCTV there. And I told them there is none, because when the thing happened, people that lives in the house, they came out and they were like, they've been complaining about this thing to be fixed long time ago, that the place is it's a very quiet area and bad stuffs do happen. So at least they should fix CCTV around that area, but there is none. So I told him this, but he said DS is not working, so I still have to take them there. And it was in the morning, and he said I should wait till their patrol car is not around. I should wait when it's back. Then they will take me with the car to the place. I said, okay. I was there around 8 a.m. in the morning, so I had to wait till 2 p.m. Still, the car wasn't coming. And I was hungry. So I told him, is there anything they can do about it? And he said, still, the car is not coming, so I still have to wait. There was another commander with him. I don't know if he's the assistant or whatever, but they are all working in the same office. He made a statement. If I can afford 800 Ghana cedis, they will be able to track. They will be able to track my phone for me.
But this is police work. What you have to pay? This is crazy.
So I was like, for real. So I told him the phone I bought, it's not even, it's like 1,200, 1,300. So me paying 800 cedis for you to retrieve the phone for me or track the phone for me wouldn't bring any benefit. But if you should track and get these people, you are going to like protect other people. You are going to prevent other people from getting into this. You are not just doing it for me. You are doing it for a lot of people. And he said, yes, normally some people promise to pay, that they will pay, they should do it for them, but after they do it, they don't pay, and it involves a lot of internet and a whole lot of stuffs and that, and he spoke a whole lot. And I said, right now I'm a student. Even on the 30th, no, on the 1st of last month, I had an exam to write, and I had to pay for my exams.
Right.
So there's no way I can afford that amount of money for you to track a phone, which you are not just doing for me, you are doing to protect other citizens, other people in Ghana, in Accra, not just me. So at long last, that day I left. They said, okay, I should go. It was around 3 to 4 p.m. They said I should go. Then the following day, that will be Monday, I'll come back for them to continue. So the statement I made was, the traffic light CCTV isn't working, so there is no need for me coming back. That's the only way I will be able to identify and tell you this is the car. And if you are telling me it's not working, I'll just come back for you to waste my time and maybe spend money, because coming and going, all I have to pay for my transport and all that, and I don't have such money. So I left to the house, and that's how my case ended, with no result, with nothing positive coming out from it or whatsoever. And till now, I can't tell anybody about it, because this is the first time I'm able to sit, to talk without being scared, without sharing a tear or something, because anytime I remember about it, I start to panic, I start to shake, I start to even cry sometimes, because I was like, why me? Why did it happen to me? Why do I deserve this? Yes, because I've harmed no one, I've hurt no one, I owe no one, I've done nothing bad to anyone. So why should bad thing happen to me? And the surprising part was, I am not the only victim. I had a friend who lives in Nongua. And on the day that this thing happened to me, we planned, we're going out with friends on that day to the beach. So on my way back home, I texted her, I'm approaching Circle and I will soon be home. So when I get home, I'll just get ready and join you guys at the beach.
Right.
So as at 6 to 7, she said she started calling and texting. She wasn't hearing from me anymore. So she was scared. So the following week, when I was able to get a new phone, and then I got my SIM cards retrieved, She was the first person to call, and she was scared. She was like, what happened? Because all of a sudden she texted me on WhatsApp, nothing. She called, it wasn't going, message and all that. So she was like, maybe someone snatched my phone, maybe I lost my phone, maybe something happened to me. And then I narrated what happened. And she was like, oh my G, the same thing happened to the sister a week ago. The sister was in the same situation as I was, and even to her, they kidnapped her, they fingered her inside the car. They took her phone, her money, and even her bag, because the bag was new. And they went to drop her at some baller place, like some kind of, a lot of trash was there. That was where they dropped her. So her sister, she even got infections, because those people, they are very dirty. If you see them, like myself, if I see them right now, I wouldn't want to get close to them because they are very dirty and nasty. Yes. So their fingers are very dirty, like, you know, those people that deals with scraps and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying they are such people. The scrap dealers are nice people, but mostly they deal with dirty work. So that's how they were looking like.
Wow.
So she said that the sister is even, she's seeing a therapist and all that because she's going through a lot. She can't even eat. She can't even sleep. She cries almost every day since the thing happened. And I was like, it means this is the new technique they are using to rob people right now, especially we the ladies, because we are the easiest people to get.
Yes.
So this what happened. So when it happened, that was a month ago or two, let's say a month ago. I've been through a lot of trauma. So that's the reason why sometimes I have to just get myself involved in a lot of work to avoid myself being alone, to be thinking about it, to be, you know, having that kind of bad feelings and all that.
Understood.
So Ghana, especially getting to this season, and even next year, you know, next year is an election year. And we are approaching Christmas. Christmas is just like a month and a half to go.
Right.
It's becoming very, very, very dangerous right now. The least mistake you make, either you lose your life or you lose a lot of things that you have.
Yes. Understood.
So the advice I do tell people that avoid taking taxis by the roadside. If you want to take a taxi, get to a taxi rank, that is a taxi station. At least the person works there. If something happens, you'll be able to trace back to where you took the car.
That's right.
Or better avoid them and just get your Bolt or Uber.
True.
It's very simple. Get your Uber app or Bolt app on your phone. When you are ordering for a car, after ordering, just share your location, that's your live location, with the Bolt to a close family member or close friend or something like that. Whilst you are going, the person is tracking your location.
Yes.
Because now it's, especially with the ladies, sometimes we are the people that this thing happens to. Yes. So this is my story, and I won't say I'm a strong lady, but I'm a kind of a very strong lady, both inside out. So I've been able to, I'm not seeing a therapist, I've not seen a therapist, but I've been able to fight this within me, even though I'm still going through the trauma. Yes, I still, because right now my heart is beating whilst I'm talking. Yes. Sometimes I can just feel this heartache. I don't know if you know what it is. heartache. I've never experienced this before until this thing happened. I just feel this heartache that it would be like your heart to just beats very, 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 very loud that it's like you can even hear it. And it's because of that.
Yes.
So please, whether it's your sister, your friend, your girlfriend, your brother's wife, your whatever, tell them to avoid taking taxis by the roadside. It's not that they should avoid taxi, no, by the roadside. It's very simple. So this is my story. This what
Well,
happened to me.
I appreciate you so much for going there and sharing it with us, because it's so easy to get caught up in what we're doing for the day and think about it. And, you know, this is not your fault anyway whatsoever. This is not anybody's fault who has a situation like this or similar to it. It's not your fault. But we still have to keep our head on a swivel, as they say, and be aware of everything, and just be aware of how things can go wrong so quick. And I'm just so thankful that even though you still have retained a bit of trauma, as anybody would in that situation, at least you came away from it alive, intact, and you still have to deal with this and the adrenaline rush that you will feel from thinking about this will make your heart race. There's nothing wrong with you. This is a normal response, and it's on a level of what I would say a person who may get post-traumatic stress disorder, which that can be dealt with. But let's be happy that you have your life. Let's be happy that you weren't snatched up for some type of ritual where they would take your life. You have your life, but now let's move a little wiser with your life. You have a lot going for you to look forward to, and I'm glad you're here with us. And I thank you so much, because someone out will listen to this and say, hey, I need to tighten up a little bit. I need to, when I'm in a cab, call a family member to have them trace my whereabouts. See, these little things that we don't think about, and even myself, this is a new country to me. I'm walking around with cameras, and I'm walking around. They already think I have money. So what? Me, exactly. Oh, he's a brony. He has thousands of dollars in his pocket.
Yeah.
So even though I'm a man, who knows what they would do to me? I tell you, they have a fight on it, but I wouldn't move stupid, you know? And I'm just glad you had a brain, a head on your shoulders to think, even with the trauma. And that makes me angry what they did to you, as it would be with any sister, because men should not be doing stupid punk stuff like this. I know the economy is bad here now, very challenging, but that's no excuse for you to do something to somebody. Whereas if we all came together in unity and helped each other, you see what I mean? But some people want to take somebody off. Go ahead. You were about to say something, sister. You were about to say something?
I'm listening to you.
Oh, okay, okay. I didn't want to take over and just ramble like that, but you know, I know it's over, but it's not over. You still have a part of it that you have to deal with. And I just want those who may have gone through a traumatic experience, when this goes up as a video after it's over, because it's live now, to share your experiences and what you've learned from it, so that we all can learn how to protect ourselves a lot better. You know, that's very, very important, because you see, one more thing I want to say before I shut up. A lot of us, to no fault of our own, we judge the state of the world by our own mind. And I, who have grew up in New York City, worked in jails, worked in prisons, I've had an education that many wouldn't have, because I learned of things that most people don't know about. And I've learned that with human nature, it's a full spectrum. We have good people, and when we're good people, we think the world is good. Now, we know it's not, but we tend to believe that, or think of or believe in the good that people can have. But this is an age of deception. There are many deceptive spirits running on the face of the earth, demonic people who don't have any empathy and who I believe was taken over in a way with just this agenda of, I'm going to take what I want to take. I don't care who I hurt. If you want to call it evil or demonic, whatever you call it, it's dangerous once we get down to that level of being a beast. Because when we don't try to ascend and keep ourselves on a higher vibration, and we fall into this mindset, a person is capable of doing anything. And I would not want to hear of anything happening to you, to anybody in this chat room, even if I don't know them all the way. I don't want to see this kind of thing happen. And if I saw something like this, I'm not Superman, but I'm not going to let anything like that happen on my watch. I don't care whether I know the person or not, especially to a woman. Especially to a woman. You didn't deserve this. It did happen. Let's grow from this. Let's learn from this. Go ahead. Talk to me. Talk to me.
Maybe it happened for a reason. Who knows?
Well, maybe what you shared today would help people from not losing their life in a situation that would be extremely severe. You see what I mean? See, a lot of times we don't know why certain things happen to us. And sometimes in this life, we don't even know why. A lot of times we get the answer eventually. Like, okay, for example, and I always say this, sometimes you're dating someone or you're in a relationship with someone and they break up with you and you never know the reason. And you ask yourself, I didn't do anything wrong. Why does this happen?
Yeah.
My heart is broken. Sometimes 10 or 15 years can go by and then you'll get the answer. Sometimes it comes immediate. Sometimes it may not come at all, but whatever it is, there's a reason for it. And let's know that there's a divine reason because you've been spared from extreme harm. See, it's a heck of a thing. And this is the world we live in. And we all could be targets at times. And I know, look, I'm in a different country. I don't even know how to speak tree. Come on now. I'm new. My only defense is to walk around sometimes looking mean, like I'm ready to fight somebody. It's an intimidation tactic. You know what I mean? Like, so they say we're not gonna mess with that guy. He has a chip on his shoulder. So I have to use stereotypes in my favor where they say, oh, look at that Bruni from America. He looks like he could have been a thug. He looks like he could have been a criminal because of the movies that I see. Look how he's walking, like he's out of jail. Someone could act that way. But at the same time, if something comes my way of harm, I'm not going to be hesitant on pulling the trigger, so to say. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Because I got some stories to tell that I never told out here because I'm kind of known now in certain circles. So I'll share with my inner circle, and I will share these things with you. Definitely. But we're going to talk about a lot of other things on subsequent conversations. You're knowledgeable as to the things that go on here, and I'm interested to hear what you have to say, because many who come here who don't know here, and I know many people from here, but when people come here, they're sold a dream of welcome home, Aquaba, welcome home. And basically you can, in some of the eyes of the people, not all of them, some of them mean it, but when they say Aquaba, you can hear them thinking, welcome home, fool. I'm going to get all your money. Yes, in the chat room, you'll see here, your sister Giant Gain asked, I don't know if she stated, but did she take herself to the hospital to get checked out? That's the question that she asked in the chat room.
No, I've not been to the hospital since then.
And there's a lot of concern here, and you have so much to offer, and you were spared for a reason. I wouldn't want to see you lose your life, even if you were the worst of the worst. I wouldn't want to see anybody's life taken. And like I said, it's a good thing that you're protected. So yes, I don't
Yeah.
know anything else you want to share on the story or any other topic, but if you want, we can wrap it down. And I want to speak with you shortly after, whenever we finish. And I know for you it's late. For you, it's time to go to bed, because you go to bed a lot earlier than I do. Most people do. I'm usually the
Yeah.
one running the sun. But go ahead. Let's wrap it down.
So, okay.
Just give us some final words and thoughts.
Yeah. So what I have to add is still about taxis. If you are boarding a taxi and there are two passengers already in it, one passenger at the front, one at the back, please don't board. Whether they are ladies or men, or maybe a female and a male, please don't board it. Mostly they work with ladies. This is what I heard about them. So whether you are a man or a lady who is going to board a car, and then there are already two passengers inside with the driver, making them three, please don't board the car. Whether it's during the day or during the night, it's never safe at any time. That's it.
That's right. Just keep your eyes open, keep your eyes peeled, and try to remember many things that are in your midst. As just even still, this is one thing I will say and add on that I've learned, and especially when you're writing reports for law enforcement, speak it out loud. You don't have to speak it out loud, but you say it under your breath. Notice little things, what exact time it is, what a person is wearing in your, and you can throw this information out in your mind. You don't have to go around documenting every minute of your life, but
Yeah.
you think of things, you know, a license plate number, or even two numbers off the license plate that you can remember, right, of a car you're getting into, right? Or even try to remember the whole license plate of the car you're getting into, write it down, or just put it in your head, write it with a pen on your back of your hand, real small. Say things out loud, but not enough for somebody else to hear. The driver has a red shirt on. The driver has a mark in his cheek. You understand? The driver is going bald. He looks to be in his 40s. You know what I mean? Those things you remember. You see, I'll just say this. I remember seeing guys rob stores, do crimes. One of the things you want to look at, not only when they do these things, but you want to notice the shoes that someone is having on their feet. Because not everybody is like a former President Ferdinand Marcos's wife, Imelda Marcos, so she had thousands of shoes. Most of us don't have as many shoes, or if we do have shoes, we don't change them that much. So if you happen to get a glance at a person's shoes and they get arrested later on for a crime that they did to you or someone else, chances are they're going to have on those same shoes. Many people don't think about that. There are people who do crimes and they have clothes under. Like if they wear a hoodie or a big t-shirt and it's a bright red t-shirt that says or has a big American flag on it, something that's obvious, or a Ghanaian flag, something that's obvious that you can't help but notice, but they're giving you that. So when they do the crime, they say, yeah, he got this Ghanaian shirt on, and he gets around the corner and pulls it off and throws it into the gutter and keeps running. He may walk back past the crime scene and you don't even notice him that way. You know, he might be a person who has on a wig and snatches it off and he's bald. You know, there's so many things that people can do to confuse you. And so we need to look at those things. We need to have conversations. And when things happen to us, when we notice different things, we need to share these things. You know? Yeah. You know, it's so much. We need to do these things on the regular. But I thank you so much. And we're going to do more, as much as you need to and much as you want. storehouse of information, and thank you for sharing that. And I know that it may have upset you to relive that, but just know there is good in that, where somebody is going to be a little more aware and alert in a way that it may share, that it may really spare their life. And that's what we want. You know? Well, you have a wonderful night. You got through your first show with me, and now you're stuck with me, and we're going to do a whole lot more. All right?
Okay, sure.
Thank you so much. Have a good night, I will contact you in about maybe 5 minutes. I have one phone call to make, and I'm going to reach out to you in about 5 minutes. There's some things I want to talk to you about.
Okay, sure. That's fine.
All right. Thank you so much, sister. You have a good night.
You're welcome. Same to you. Bye.